Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday Eve and happy Juneteenth to all who celebrate. Thank you for joining us here on 24 Plus News Live. I'm Yvonne Cooper.
And I'm Ruben Diaz. You almost got me excited when you said Friday, but then you dropped the Eve in there. You got to stop doing that.
Oh, come on. It's a wet start, a
It's
soggy
a Thursday.
start. But I mean, you still got that Friday, almost Friday feeling.
Does today almost feel like Friday to you?
Yes, it does. I am so glad it's on the way.
All right, we got a lot to get to today, so let's get right into the top 5 things we want you to know about. Coming up at number 1, Memphis police have arrested the man accused of trespassing in Mayor Paul Young's neighborhood. He now faces several charges. 25-year-old Trenton Abston is being charged with stalking and aggravated criminal trespass. We'll have more on what police claim they found during his arrest coming up in just minutes.
Number 2, we are monitoring flash flooding in several areas, including this one right here. This is a look at I-240 in Jefferson. We're also monitoring some flash flooding in another area, Walnut Grove and Union. We have a crew on the way to that scene, but as you can tell, just the interstate completely shut down on one side, where a lot of ponding, several cars still stuck in that as well. So be careful. Give yourself some extra time if you have to head out this morning. Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett will have a look at your forecast later on.
Coming in at the third thing you need to know this morning, 2 former Memphis police officers charged with the death of Tyree Nichols are requesting a new trial. The motions for a new trial are sealed at this point, but an unsealed filing does show a motion from Justin Smith's attorney. Now, it references the federal rule of criminal procedure. That's where a judge that oversaw a trial doesn't actually finish the case. So what this could mean, coming up in just minutes.
Coming in at number 4, Mayor Lee Harris has vetoed grant proposals, or one, from Commissioner Edmund Ford Jr. Ford Jr. was charged back in February with bribery, tax evasion, and kickbacks, along with city and county grants. Ford Jr. wants to award a $177,000 grant to the MVP3 Foundation, which is a nonprofit involving high school entertainment programs. Harris gave reasons for his veto in a letter to commissioners. What Harris said in his letter about Ford in a few moments.
And finally, coming in at number 5, it is Juneteenth. That means that today people all over the country will be celebrating Juneteenth, the day in which the last enslaved people in Texas were told that they were officially free. It's also worth noting that the Postal Service will be closed today, so you won't get any mail. Federal courthouses and most banks are going to be closed as well. We have where you can celebrate this holiday coming up in just minutes.
We've been keeping a close eye on the radar overnight. Some of you might have been woken up to some loud thunderstorms while you were sleeping, but as we wake up this morning, most of those storms are clearing out. There are still a few leftover showers for some of us, but for the most part, over the next hour or two, even that will clear out. So by 9 a.m., we're looking to be in much better shape, and the rest of the day looks pretty nice. We'll see some sunshine develop. That does mean it's going to be a little warmer, though, with a high near 89. A little more humidity, too. That means the heat index is going to get on up there, feeling like 95 later on today in Memphis, closer to 100 down in the Delta. Rain chances for the next several days, well, there's not much of them to talk about. We're going to leave in that 10% chance for the next 7 days just because it is summertime. There could be a sprinkle at any point, but in general, things are looking pretty dry for the next several days. Most of us seeing less than an inch of rain from here on out in this forecast, and you'll see it better on the 7-day. Again, some quick showers this morning. By the afternoon, we're talking about sunshine, a high near 89. Tomorrow is the first day of summer. Mother Nature clearly had it marked on her calendar because look what happens after that. 93 with sunshine tomorrow, 94 and sunny on Saturday, 95 and sunny on Sunday. More humidity this weekend means the heat index likely over 100. And no sign of a break anytime soon. We'll stay in the mid-90s with sunshine next week. That heat index likely over 100 through at least Wednesday.
Continuing coverage this morning, Memphis police arrested the man accused of trespassing in Memphis Mayor Paul Young's neighborhood. He now faces several charges. 25-year-old Trenton Abston is charged with stalking and aggravated criminal trespass. Police found a taser, gloves, rope, and duct tape from his vehicle during the arrest.
According to MPD, Abston actually went directly to Mayor Young's home and did not stop at any other houses in the neighborhood. Now, that's actually a correction from what was initially reported. It's important to note that there could be even more charges for absent as the investigation continues. Mayor Young did release a statement on social media, though, calling out hateful speech and violence, urging Memphis to come together and choose love instead.
2 ex-MPD officers charged in the death of Tyree Nichols are now requesting a new trial. The motions for this new trial are sealed, but one unsealed filing shows that a motion was filed from Justin Smith's attorney, and it cites the federal rule of criminal procedure, where a judge that oversaw a trial doesn't finish the case. Last week, Judge Mark Norris recused himself just days before sentencing for each man. Now Chief Judge Cheryl Lippman is taking over. A status hearing is set for next Wednesday, June 25th. We, of course, will stay on top of any new developments in this story, and we'll give you an update as soon as we have one.
Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris has vetoed a grant proposal from Commissioner Edmund Ford Jr. Now, Ford Jr. was charged back in February with bribery and tax evasion involving city and county grants. Commissioner Ford Jr. wants to award a grant of $177,000 to the MVP3 Foundation, which is a nonprofit involving high school entertainment programs. Mayor Harris, though, gave reasons for his veto in a letter to the commissioners, saying that he believes that Ford Jr. should be suspended while he is being federally indicted and investigated for fraud directly related to government grant funds. Mayor Harris also wrote that it's, quote, out of the norm for one commissioner to give such a large amount to one organization. Commissioner Ford Jr. is moving to override Mayor Harris's veto that would be happening on June 23rd at that next meeting.
Memphians don't like it when outsiders have something bad to say about the 901. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith got some heat for saying that the city's crime makes NBA players too afraid to live here. ABC24's Kevin McNamara went down to Beale Street to see how Memphians felt about Stephen A. Smith's remarks.
ESPN personality Stephen A. Smith doubled down on his comments Wednesday after facing backlash, saying, quote, facts are facts, and pointing to FBI Director Kash Patel's statements last month, calling Memphis the homicide capital of America. It's not a sentiment shared by everyone in the Bluff City.
And I was a little bit surprised and very disappointed because I think with any major metropolitan city, you're going to have a mixture of, well-to-do people and a mixture of, working class people and a mixture of people who are struggling. We hang out every time that I'm in Memphis. I have my daughter with me. She's never afraid.
Still, there are some lifelong Memphians who understand why the national perception of the city is what it is.
Well, I feel it. I mean, to be honest with you, the numbers prove it. So, we've kind of missed the mark on containing that and responding to it. How do you argue with it?
Well-known Memphians like Mayor Young alongside key organizations have defended the city strongly in the wake of the comments. That includes someone who knows a thing or two about Memphis.
Most of it is stuff that happens after 2 a.m. in the morning. I've been down there 7 years and coming every week and never seen any problems.
Jerry Lawler saying on Wednesday he feels safe whenever he's out and about.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at turn the camera around. Just look at these people. Hi, everybody.
No matter what ESPN personalities may say, Memphians are ready to speak up on behalf of the Bluff City.
Memphis is great.
All right, on a special edition of the 24th Floor, I actually sat down with Memphis native and former Memphis East star Tony Harris to discuss Smith's initial comments. The first thing I thought about when I heard that was I wanted to ask how much time has Stephen A. spent realistically in Memphis? Did you come down for a game and hop a flight right after, or have you spent actual time? Do you know people in Memphis? That was my initial thought. What was your initial thought about just him himself making that comment?
Yeah, he wasn't really relatable to the city, and exactly what you said. Maybe he hasn't been around because a lot of Southerners in this part, are a lot of rich, loving type people. We put our arms around anybody who comes to this city. I've been so many places, around the country, and there's not hospitality like it is in Memphis. So, of course, when you hear that initially, if you're from Memphis, if you're raising a family in Memphis, it's going to be a little offensive.
All right, strong sentiments from people from Memphis. Definitely feel some kind of way. Don't know that I blame them. Taking a live look right now at the Clark Tower. There's our camera facing out in East Memphis. We'll be right back with much more after this short break.
All right, good morning, everyone. We are still staying on top of all of the flash flooding that's across the Memphis area right now. This is a live look near Walnut Grove and Union, where you can just see 3 cars stuck in that ponding water underneath that bridge.
Yeah, obviously a situation that's been developing all morning. The flash flooding concern became very evident during the 6 o'clock hour. The rain has now stopped in several areas, which is going to help some of that water finally go away. It just was coming down so fast, it was impossible for the drainage system to keep up at this point in time. But that's basically what flash flooding is, right? So as the rain has stopped, some of this will start to go away, and then hopefully some of these cars will be able to move. But yeah, they're not going anywhere right now for sure.
Yes, so until the water recedes, you definitely want to be mindful as you head out on the roads and avoid areas like this. You know what they say all the time, turn around, don't drown, don't drive in that.
Absolutely. Now for a closer look at your forecast right now, let's turn it to Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
All right, good morning, friends. Happy Thursday to you. We are rolling into a slightly different weather pattern. We had the storms last night. Those are clearing out, and now our focus is shifting to the heat. As a matter of fact, by this weekend, heat and humidity going to combine to give us a heat index over 100, and this kind of heat will likely stay with us for at least the next week or two. This morning, some of us have woken up to some showers, kind of the leftover rounds of those thunderstorms from last night. If you are seeing some rain this morning, it's not going to last much longer. It's going to continue to clear out, and most of us are going to be dry through the morning with temperatures in the 70s to start. Eventually, though, once those clouds clear out, we'll see some sunshine. We're going to get to near 90 this afternoon. Again, some sunshine developing as we go later into the day. A little more humid, too. That means the heat index is going to get on up there. By the time you get to around 3 or 4 o'clock, it's going to be feeling like the mid-90s. So if you do have to be out later today, make sure you're hydrating, taking some breaks in the shade, wearing that light-colored, loose-fitting clothing, because really starting today, it's going to be hot and humid, and then it just continues for the next several days. 93 with sunshine tomorrow. We get to 94 with sunshine on Saturday. And pretty much from here on out for the next week or two, we're going to be in a sunny, hot, humid and dry weather pattern. Very typical for summertime. Our rain chances near 0 for the next 7 days. I did leave in that 10% chance just because it's summertime. There could be a sprinkle at any point, but after this morning, for the next 7 days, most of us will not see much in the way of rain. There's the storms from last night. They're clearing out. They'll continue to move to the south, but once they do, it's going to allow high pressure to sneak in. Now, High pressure is a good weather maker. It does mean we're going to be sunny and rain free for the most part. But that H also means hot, and it puts us in what we call a heat dome across much of the southeast, and that's just going to kind of bake us here for the next several days. Our temperature outlook through the end of the month, expect things to be above normal. Our average high is 90. We will likely see high temperatures above that, and of course with the humidity, we have to factor in that heat index too, feeling like over 100 for the weekend and into early next week. So our big weather impact for the next several days is going to be the heat. We're going to be talking a lot about it on the ABC24 Plus app. You can stream that for Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV for extended weather updates and information. Again, a couple of showers this morning, especially in North Mississippi. Those will clear out though. Sunshine 89 this afternoon, 93 and sunshine tomorrow for the first day of summer. And then summer literally flips the switch on. 94 for Saturday, 95 with sunshine Sunday, a heat index over 100 this weekend. It's going to stay sunny, hot, and humid next week, mid-90s with a heat index over 100 for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
All right, here's a look at what's trending for you on this Thursday morning. Some wild video out of the Big Apple. We're talking about New York. You can see a swarm of bees spotted buzzing around 6th Avenue. You see that right there on the screen? This happened in the Midtown Manhattan area. This was on Thursday of last week. There you go. You can maybe see it. Oh, maybe I was trying to look in. You caught me trying to look. Normally, the only swarms in New York are people in the subway or in the traffic area, but the swarm was so thick it almost looked like some snow at some point. We did do a check, and going back several years around this time of June, there typically are bees in New York. No real clear answer as to why they swarm in New York. Probably the stench would be my guess.
Oh gosh, you just had to take it there. Really? Leave those pollinators alone. They all right. And the people. Goodness gracious.
They're pollinators for sure.
Hey, but maybe they'll figure out what's actually drawing them. Hopefully it is not a smell. I don't think so. I've never been to New York, so I can't really speak to that.
I'm not trying to go to New York. There's a list of reasons why I don't want to go to New York, and that is now on the list as well. Just a chance that I might run into a swarm of bees.
Just in case, I guess.
The rats the size of dogs are my #1 reason.
Well, now we hear that there's a problem with a few little mice.
They got rats out there. So, all right, enough about New York. I'm not trying to go there anytime soon.
How about this? This is interesting. Apparently, there's a new trend for couples out there. The orange peel theory. TikTok claims that it's supposed to indicate a partner's level of care and commitment in a relationship. So here's how it works. You ask your significant other to perform a small task that they can easily do, like peel an orange. If your partner readily agrees and performs this task, it's seen as a sign of love and attentiveness. But if they refuse, or if they're reluctant, it can be interpreted as a lack of consideration or a lack of commitment.
Well, it could just be they don't want to peel the orange. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about, you know what, I don't like peeling oranges, so no, I can't do that for you.
But I get the thought process behind it. If it's something really small, wouldn't you do it just because you love me? You know, wouldn't you just do it to make me happy?
Point, counterpoint. If it's something really small, couldn't you just do it for yourself?
All right, we see where you fall on the spectrum.
I'm just saying. You know,
okay.
Hey, can you pick up my pen? Well, you're standing right there. You can pick up your own pen. You're strong, grown, independent people. You don't need me to do that for you.
So I'm assuming if your wife asked you to do this challenge with you, something like that, you would be like,
fail miserably. Fail miserably. And not because I don't care, not because I don't love her, not because of all that. It's just because I would just fail miserably.
You know what's crazy? My husband would pass with flying colors. Me, I'd be more like you and be like, really, babe? Do you need me to? Okay. And I'd eventually do it, but I would be a little reluctant if it's like a little small.
I'm probably not even going to eventually do it. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to go really, babe. I'm going to be like, what? You need me to do what? You got that.
Oh, Lord. You can tell we've been with our partners for a long time.
And they ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
Amen. All right, let's turn to this. Today, people all over the country are celebrating Juneteenth.
Yeah, so you might know, hopefully you know, June 19th, 1865 was the day the last enslaved people in Texas were told they were finally free.
And it is worth noting today that the Postal Service will be closed, so you won't get any mail, and federal courthouses and most banks will be closed as well.
And if you're planning on playing the stock market, don't plan on doing that today. That's going to be closed as well. We do, though, want to take a deeper dive into the history of Juneteenth, so listen to this.
After 4 bloody years, the Union defeated the Confederacy to win the Civil War and abolish slavery in April 1865. There were nearly 4 million slaves in the U.S. at that time, and Union armies began marching through the southern states, freeing thousands of slaves each day. The news took months to reach Texas, the westernmost state in the Confederacy. And on June 19, 1865, Major General Gordon Granger and 2,000 Union troops rode into Galveston, Texas, and told the slaves of their freedom. Granger's words spread through Texas. All at once, slaves found out the war was over and they were free. Their joyous, spontaneous celebration gave birth to Juneteenth. Juneteenth, a combination of the words June and 19th, commemorates when the last enslaved people in the South were finally set free. Many slaves were met with violence or even death when they tried to leave. Yet the promise of freedom extinguished fear and fueled generations of indestructible people. Former slaves gathered on Juneteenth the next year, and the year after that. And over the decades, black communities observed the holiday with festive family gatherings, colorful parades, and bountiful barbecues. Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday in 1980. Since then, all 50 states and Washington, D.C. also recognized Juneteenth as a holiday. In 2021, President Joe Biden signed the bill making June 19th a federal holiday in the United States. Juneteenth is a celebration of independence, the day all Americans were truly free.
So as you just heard, Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, is today, and there are several things happening today in Memphis and over the weekend commemorating this special day. ABC24's Leah Williams joins us here in studio to talk more about the event that's happening today at the National Civil Rights Museum. Hey, Leah, good morning.
Good morning. That event starts in just a few hours, and it's the 4th Juneteenth Community Day that starts up at 9 a.m. And the event is to commemorate again the day that the last enslaved people in Texas found out they were free. The museum is offering free admission all day, and they're encouraging all visitors to learn about the origins and importance of Juneteenth. The event is centered around 3 main pillars. That's freedom, culture, and health equity. Activities include live performances, food trucks, and more. Attendees can also get free health screenings and get some more information about their health.
This is indeed a community-filled, fun event with history and education behind it. Of course, awareness is the most important piece of it.
Now, last year on Juneteenth, the museum drew in about 5,000 visitors. This event goes on during their regular hours today, so that'll be from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. In the studio, I'm Leah Williams.
Leah, thank you so much. June is also Black Music Month, where it's a time to honor the powerful legacy of African-American musicians who shaped America's soundtrack, from jazz and gospel to hip-hop and soul. This legacy is alive and well in Memphis. Beale Street gave birth to the blues and to legends like W.C. Handy and B.B. King.
All right. Taking a live look right now outside. If you didn't see it, Yvonne was doing the Millie Rock here just a couple of minutes ago, celebrating her dancing moves. There you go. We should take a live shot of that next. We're taking a live look outside using our Midtown camera. You can see the downtown skyline. The rain has passed most of the Memphis metro area, but that did cause some flooding earlier. We're going to touch base on that and much more coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Experts are warning about a rise in homelessness in older Americans. In 2024 alone, the U.S. saw an 18% spike, with more than 140,000 people aged 55 and older now without stable housing. Experts say that number could triple by 2030. Health workers warn that without stronger support, older Americans will keep falling through the cracks and paying the price with their health.
These are folks who are kind of entering the stage where they're starting to have, multiple complex chronic medical conditions that need to be met, and they're just not being met. Heart disease, diabetes, a lot of pain, a lot of mental health issues. They're also the most vulnerable.
Advocates say that expanding access to Medicaid and to housing programs could help stem the crisis.
All right, a new study finds that father's mental health likely plays a role in a child's development. According to research published in the JAMA Pediatrics Journal, a father's mental distress can have a negative impact on their child's cognitive and social emotional development. The authors claim men are at risk of mental distress as they prepare for fatherhood and may suffer from depression and anxiety. Those issues can cause a father to have sensitivity issues when dealing with the child. The findings are based on 84 previous studies that were based on thousands of father-child relationships.
We're also learning that levels of arsenic in public drinking water could cause health risk for newborns. In a new study from Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health, it found that even when the levels of arsenic in water are within federal safety standards, babies born to mothers exposed to the water are more likely to be born preterm or have lower birth weights. The study suggests that more needs to be done to reduce arsenic levels in drinking water.
Is that the Mailman Institute? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and reread that, but I promise that's what it said. We got to go back and reread that one.
Expanding.
School is out for the summer, and the summer is here. But experts warn that letting kids lose all routine or letting them lose their routine can lead to the dreaded summer slide. I cannot speak right now. Summer slide.
I have that effect on people. I will tell you that as a parent, that is a real thing. Your kids need a routine or they're gonna drive you crazy. One of our sister stations has more on how keeping that daily schedule is the best way to keep the kids happy, but more importantly, the parents sane all season long.
The dreaded summer slide. No, not that one. School is out, and it may be tempting to let the kids sleep in, snack all day, and park in front of a screen. But experts with UPMC say a summer routine is still key.
We expect children during the school year to have a routine. So if during the summer you lift your routine, then these kids get off schedule. And this transition back to school after the summer break is really, really difficult.
Dr. Smith says even though it may be difficult, her best advice is to keep the same wake up and bedtime routines as during the year.
We know that when kids get overly tired, they get really emotional. Sometimes they don't follow directions as well. So keeping them well rested will keep them happier during the day.
And don't forget physical activity. Dr. Smith says even 30 to 60 minutes a day of movement, whether bike riding, soccer, or just playing tag, can make a big difference.
If there is no sort of summer camp activity that allows them to be outside during the day, it may be a good idea to have kind of a nighttime play session.
So sure, sleep in a few minutes here and there, skip a chore now and then, but a summer with structure, that's a recipe for happier and healthier kids.
All right, this is one of my favorite things, the mascots. So this is the Mascot Hall of Fame class for 2025 was announced this week on Good Morning America. This year's inductees include Blitz from the Seattle Seahawks, who you just saw, the St. Louis Cardinals' Fred Bird, S.J. Sharkey from the San Jose Sharks, Sebastian from the University of Miami, and Toro from the Houston Texans. I don't know about those being the Mascot Hall of Fames. Those aren't my favorites. They all went up against 28 other mascots from the country to earn the honor. I do love a good mascot, though. One of my favorite things.
Agreed. Well, not a mascot, but a character that we all know and love.
Not all of us.
Today is National Garfield the Cat Day. Created by Jim Davis, the iconic comic strip Garfield first appeared on June 19th, 1978. The strip follows the adventures of the lazy, lasagna-loving cat, his uncle, his owner, John Arbuckle, and the lovable dog, Odie. Garfield is now the world's most widely syndicated comic strip, featured in thousands of newspapers worldwide. Common themes in the comic strip includes Garfield's laziness, obsessive eating, love for lasagna and coffee, and hatred of Mondays and diets. So as I was kindly telling Ruben during a break, or during maybe one of the stories in between, I know Garfield and know what Garfield the cat looks like, but I don't know anything else about the cat. That's about it.
Which is pop culture 101.
Give it to me. Go ahead.
Know Garfield, the cat, John Arbuckle, the owner, and then of course Odie, the dog who never speaks. So Odie doesn't speak. You know, some dogs speak in some cartoons. There's cartoons about Garfield, and Odie's kind of, you know, easygoing, let's say it like that. And so Garfield takes advantage of Odie a lot of times, manipulates Odie a lot of times, much like I do here in the newsroom.
I was about to say, sounds kind of familiar.
I am the Garfield of the newsroom.
Well, you know, you were born in 1978, like, you know, Garfield was, you know, so I understand.
Why you got my business in the streets?
I understand the connection. You grew up with Garfield. With me, that was decades prior to my time.
Decades, huh?
I wasn't even thought of.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't even thought of.
You still aren't at this point in time, apparently. After you just dropped some shade on me about my birthday. What's wrong with you, putting my business in the street? I will say this, I can help educate you on pop culture. But I do think you should know stuff that happened before your time. It's okay.
A lot of things I do.
You can't blame your age on everything.
I'm saying the best thing for me was that I know the cat when I see the cat. That's the point, right? You know the cat when you see the cat, the iconic cat.
If you say so.
Everybody else, I'm oblivious to.
Okay.
But I know the cat.
Well, let's take a look at this. Do you know this? Are you familiar with this that we're about to show you? This live look outside? You know what this is?
Clark Tower.
Well, there you go.
In East Memphis. See it every day.
All right, let's get you caught up on some national news this morning. Federal authorities are trying to determine who has been anonymously ordering pizzas that were sent to the homes of U.S. lawmakers across the country. Pizzas have also been sent to the homes of people who protect those lawmakers. The deliveries have authorities worried that they could be intended to send a message. According to House Speaker Mike Johnson's staff, both Democrats and Republicans in the House have received those unsolicited pizza deliveries. Pizzas were also sent to current and former leadership of the U.S. Capitol Police. Many of those deliveries arrived this past weekend as Minnesota authorities were racing to find the man who allegedly shot two state Democratic lawmakers. It is important to note that officials have announced that the deliveries actually began before that Minnesota attack.
Right now, Mexico is bracing for its strongest June hurricane on record. Overnight, Hurricane Eric in the Pacific strengthened to a Category 4 storm. The storm is expected to make landfall this morning. The hurricane is expected to bring up to 16 inches of rain, strong winds, and storm surge.
TikTok is done in the U.S. Well, TikTok is done in the U.S., just isn't done in the U.S., we should say, just yet. All right, here we go. The ultimate fate of TikTok is still up in the air, but it will live on for at least 3 more months. You see, the White House has announced that President Trump will sign an executive order this week to keep TikTok up and running here in the U.S. I know I scared a few people when I said that first. The popular video sharing app was supposed to be banned in the U.S. after its Chinese owner refused to sell it to a U.S. buyer by a January deadline, but that didn't happen. White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt has announced that the administration will spend the 90-day extension working to close a deal to keep TikTok in the U.S. for good. All right, this morning, incredible new video shows an enormous ash cloud after a volcanic eruption in Indonesia. Check this one out. On Tuesday, the volcano called Mount Lowatobi Laki had a nearly 7-mile-high ash column. You impressed by that one, Yvonne?
Yes, I was.
I locked that one in. The volcano has been erupting repeatedly since November the 3rd. Look at that ash there. More than 12,000 people have been evacuated. It's led to the cancellation of dozens of flights. People have reported seeing that cloud as far as almost 100 miles away. Officials have issued the country's highest alert and urged tourists to stay away.
Ruben, I think you'll be impressed by this story. The first dog trained by Guide Dogs of America to work in a classroom is actually clocking in. She is working with students who have special needs at Oceanside Elementary School in California. Our sister station shares how Kinsey is making a big difference, one wag at a time.
Kinsey here is the first dog trained for the classroom by the organization Guide Dogs of America. She'll work with students who have special needs, and she has a famous sister.
Hey, you. Hey, you.
Hey, you. There's nothing like a newborn to remind you why it's great to be alive.
A sneak peek at Rosie O'Donnell's new documentary, Unleashing Hope, the power of service dogs for children with autism.
I put my hands on her ears and I said, we're gonna save my kid, you and me. You got it, doggy?
Rosie's daughter's guide dog is Kinsey's sister. She went through the same year-long training by inmates in prison. Now serves students with special needs at an elementary school in Oceanside.
Kinsey, so nice. Kinsey helped me get my work done.
Xavier Cole and the rest of his peers absolutely light up having her in the classroom.
I can get the whole class laughing.
Jump on.
Sit. Fist bump.
Hug. Aww.
Their special education teacher is also Kinsey's handler. Rachel Prentice understands disability herself, having cerebral palsy, so has seen what it's done for herself and her students.
Kids who aren't being successful in school because they don't feel they have people to connect with or belong, and watching that shift is really beautiful.
From being a good listener,
Good, what's your name?
to providing a gentle nudge to stay focused or a welcome distraction, she even helps pick up and play and has become an incredible asset in the classroom.
Kinsey pick up my toys. She sweep a lot.
Kinsey knows more than 40 commands and goes to class every day to learn more.
She knows her way around campus, and I think she really does enjoy the job. It's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, and yeah, just the bond grows every day.
That is so special. You know, my mom taught education for more than 30 years in Nashville, and she taught special ed, where she was a teacher in the classroom. There was also a teacher's aide, but I've never seen a dog be able to do that and to help in a classroom in that way for kids who need it. That's really sweet.
It is. It also makes me wonder what I'm doing wrong with my dog, because my dog knows 2 commands.
Cora doesn't do all that.
Yeah, that dog's not picking up toys, not cleaning up around the house. Obviously, that dog's gonna have to earn her keep. She's, you know, we'll have to talk when I get back to the house.
Oh man. See,
Rinse due.
She needs more treats. That's probably what it is.
That's one of the only words she knows is treats.
We'll get her up and moving. I'm saying we like I'm a help.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm not trained to do that, but good luck to you.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
That dog better learn some commands or learn how to pay rent. One of the two.
Don't make her pay rent. She's too sweet for that. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside while we take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
right, we all love a good vacation, right? But coming home can bring you the blues. We all know that one. We're getting more on why that happens and share some simple tips on how you can beat those post-vacation slumps. Listen to this.
Taking a break can be relaxing and rejuvenating, but the end of vacation can bring on the blues.
We might be having a great time and then we come back to reality and then, we're back to the grind.
Psychologist Rachel Gableman with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says there can be a sadness as you return to a regular routine. You may be faced with loads of laundry or stacks of work and feel like there's no longer a trip to look forward to.
It can just feel like, oh, why did I bother maybe taking that vacation at all?
But Gableman says taking time off is good for our well-being, and you can beat the post-vacation blues by setting yourself up for success before you leave. Clean your house, stock your freezer and pantry so you don't have to clean and shop for groceries as soon as you return from vacation. When planning your trip, set aside a day when you get back so that you can reset before returning to work. And while you're on that trip, live in the moment. Let yourself enjoy the time you do have off instead of thinking about having to go back home. Finally, when you do go back home, she says start planning your next vacation, even if it's just a staycation or weekend getaway.
We, as humans, really like to look forward to things. It is something that, might reduce our stress and help us to keep going.
You were nodding right along with that one.
Yes, I was. I heard a real good line in that one. The best way to beat post-vacation blues is to book another vacation. Amen. I agree.
I think it's natural for people to, you get home from vacation and you got to go back to the grind, dreaded work. Some people, maybe not enjoy what they do every day, and that's got to be even tougher. But to me, say your next vacation is not for 6 months. That's a long way to be looking out, right?
It is, definitely. So I feel that. But plan one that's sooner. Like they said, a vacation, a staycation, a little getaway never hurt anybody. A little weekend something.
Yeah, or you could just find a place in your current office to hide for a couple hours a day.
That works too. Lock the door if you can.
Where's Ruben at? Who knows?
He's somewhere. We'll call him.
I'm in the building.
Maybe he'll answer.
And maybe not. All right, let's take another live look downtown. We'll be back after just a couple more minutes with much more on 24 Plus this morning.
Tonight, the Memphis Redbirds are hosting a special showdown at AutoZone Park. The mayor of Shelby County, Lee Harris, and Memphis Mayor Paul Young will lead their teams in the annual city versus county softball game. It's going down.
It's a friendly rivalry. Apparently, it's been going on for a while. That celebrates Juneteenth and honors Memphis's rich baseball legacy. This will do that all at the same time. Our Alicia Renee has more on the friendly face-off.
I'm just drafted into the game, but it's city versus county. It's a softball game.
If you're not ready for the city versus county softball game, I spoke with Mr. Craig and he said you should get ready. Is that right?
That's right.
All right.
It's just a friendly game between the city and the county. It was an opportunity for us to bring people together, do something, fun where it sort of builds that unity between the two governments. I think they're friendly anyway, but now we got a little friendly competition to, kind of put a little spice into it.
This isn't just any game, as they are celebrating Juneteenth.
The idea was hatched several months ago, and we were sitting in a meeting with mayor's office and some representatives of the county, and this idea came up, and we said, this sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. Let's go. And then we also thought, doing it on Juneteenth was, great, as well. It's a great way to provide unity between the city and the county, even though they're going to compete against each other. And everyone's got the day off, so come down, enjoy a baseball game, and enjoy a little friendly competition between the city and county.
Mayor Lee Harris says this is the county's opportunity to finally redeem themselves and get a win.
Of course, we started this rivalry last year in terms of basketball, and the city beat us last year in basketball. And so it's time for the county to get its comeuppance. And so we've been working out real hard here in the county every day at lunchtime, working out and trying to get ready for this baseball game. And so I've been warming up my pitching arm and practicing my swing. And so I feel like I got at least 2 or 3 dingers in me, even though I'm a little up there in age, and I'm ready to run around the bases and throw some people out and do all the things and get some touchdowns. Homers. Get some homers.
It's said to be a fundraiser, so how much is it and what is the fundraiser? What does the funds go to?
Well, it's really a fundraiser, and so the idea is for all of us to get together, and we've been practicing hard. We've been skipping a lot of lunch, and so I would just tell the city, watch out for the fastball, because it's coming very, very soon. So go to Redbird Stadium, check us out. We're going to have a whole bunch of fun, city versus county, 2025.
Craig says this game helps the city and county blow off some steam even while working.
When you look at sort of the way government has to work together all the time, it's usually in a, I guess sometimes combative, sometimes friendly way, but this is sort of a way for them to get maybe some of the aggression out in budget season. It's budget season right now for both the city and the county, so for a chance for them to be, they might be frustrated, come out and smack a softball pretty hard and, get those frustrations out as you're trying to get the budget across the line the next couple of weeks.
Mayor Lee Harris agrees.
Well, it's just about putting more positivity into the air. So Memphis and Shelby County is one of the best places to live, and although there may be a little bit of competitive spirit from the city to the county or across Civic Plaza, the reality is that we all get along extremely well, and we all enjoy a little social time together, because we know that the work is very hard, and we know that the challenges are numerous, and so we can all take a minute to enjoy each other's company, and so that's what this is about. And go county.
Craig says not only can you experience the game, but the entire downtown Memphis, and he's rooted for the city.
This is a wonderful ballpark in downtown Memphis, and come down here, spend some time walking around, go to some of the restaurants down here. There are great restaurants, there's great places to visit. Come into the ballpark, enjoy a barbecue nacho, enjoy just being outside. This is Memphis's backyard. The city owns AutoZone Park, so I'm gonna have to I'm probably on Team City, because in the end they own the ballpark and we're trying to get some improvements here. So I hope they win. I hope they see how great this facility is. But overall our goal was, and still is to bring the community together on a holiday and build that unity and just have a great day, a great afternoon at the ballpark.
If you know anything about softball, you'll know that this is the wrong ball. Ready? All right, at the Redbird Stadium, I'm Alicia Renee.
All right, happening right now. Let's get you your top 3 things before you get you out the door this morning. Memphis police have arrested the man accused of trying to trespass in Mayor Paul Young's neighborhood. He now faces several charges. 25-year-old Trenton Abston is charged with stalking and aggravated criminal trespass. According to police, they found a taser, gloves, rope, and duct tape in his vehicle during the arrest. Now, also according to MPD, Boston actually went directly to Mayor Young's home and did not stop at any other houses in the neighborhood.
2 ex-Memphis police officers charged in the death of Tyree Nichols are requesting a new trial. The motions are sealed, but there is an unsealed filing that shows a motion from Justin Smith's attorney. It cites the federal rule of criminal procedure, where a judge that oversaw a trial doesn't finish the case. Last week, Judge Mark Norris recused himself just days before sentencing for each man. Now, Chief Judge Cheryl Lipman is taking over. A status hearing is set for next Wednesday, June 25th.
And number 3, Mayor Lee Harris has vetoed a grant proposal from Commissioner Edmund Ford Jr. Now, Ford Jr. was charged back in February with bribery and tax evasion involving city and county grants. Now, Ford Jr. wants to award a $177,000 grant to the MVP3 Foundation, which is a nonprofit involving high school entertainment programs. But Mayor Harris gave his reasons for this veto in a letter to commissioners. Mayor Harris believes that Ford should be suspended after being federally indicted for fraud directly related to government grant funds. Mayor Harris also wrote that it's, quote, out of the norm for one commissioner to give such a large amount to one organization. Commissioner Ford is moving to override Harris's veto. Mayor Harris's veto, that would be on June 23rd at their upcoming meeting. Now here's one for you that's all across the world, right? The world of sports was hit with some stunning news. The LA Lakers are being sold. That's right, the Buss family is entering into an agreement to sell majority ownership of the Lakers for a valuation of about $10 billion. The new owner is Mark Walter. Now, Walter, who currently owns the LA Dodgers, will be the man buying the Lakers for that insane price tag. This is the largest sale of a sports franchise in the world ever. I'm shocked the Busses are selling the Lakers.
Same. Tonight, the NBA could crown a new champion. The Oklahoma City Thunder are up 3 games to 2 in the NBA Finals against the Indiana Pacers. The 2 teams will square off tonight in Indianapolis, and if the Thunder close it out, this would be the team's first NBA championship since 1979 when they were the Seattle Supersonics. Game 6 tips off tonight at 7:30 right here on ABC.
That's going to be a good game.
Yes,
I think
it
the
will.
Pacers probably win it because it's at home, at Indiana, then forces Game 7.
All right. You know, I've been saying Game 7 OKC the whole time, but I kind of switched it up. I'm thinking it's done tonight, OKC.
It could.
I think it's done tonight.
It could be, but I'm going to bank on a Game 7. So we shall see. Tomorrow morning we'll know
see.
which one of us is right.
It could go either way.
I'm rarely wrong.
It could go either way.
I'm so right, I've never been wrong. Thank you so much for joining us on 24 Plus this morning.
Oh, Lord, let's wrap it up, right? All right, be sure to follow us on social media to keep up with the latest news. Anywhere, anytime, just look up ABC24 Memphis.
And don't forget, if you missed anything or want to watch this again, you can rewatch the full show for free right here on 24 Plus.
All right, that's it for us. Have a good day, guys.
We'll see you.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 24 Plus app everywhere you stream.